Hello, and welcome to this episode of Cooking with Your Coaches. My name is Courtney Handelin, and I'm one of the health coaches at the Waukesha Employee Health and Wellness Center. And today I am demoing chocolate hummus. So why make your own hummus? Well, there's a lot less preservatives, it's less processed. You can control how much sugar you're adding. Also, when we make things at home, we're leading to less plastic waste, and of course, you save money. It's a lot cheaper to make it at home. Almost all the ingredients are probably things you have laying around your house anyway. And then it's just an easy way to make a healthier, sweet treat, and perfect for those summertime family gatherings, or even just on your own. So here is our recipe. You are going to need 1 can of garbanzo beans, chickpeas, or you could also substitute black beans if you have those. Probably other beans would be fine as well. You're going to need cocoa powder. A good cocoa powder might yield to a better chocolatey flavor. Unsweetened cocoa milk, or really any milk that you have should be fine. Maple syrup or honey to sweeten it. A tablespoon of olive oil. Today I was out of olive oil, but we had grapeseed oil, so I am using that. And then a 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda. Some optional additional things you might choose to add for flavor would be some vanilla, maybe some dark chocolate chips, maybe a pinch of sea salt, and not pictured in here, but if you don't mind the chocolate chips giving it a little texture, crunchiness, you could also add some chia seeds if you wanted to give it a little crunch. And so if you are running around your house gathering those things, feel free to pause me while you gather those things and kind of get the tools that you need for measuring. Otherwise, we can move on to our first step. So the first step is preparing the beans. So you are going to open your can of chickpeas or whatever beans you're choosing today, and go ahead and rinse and drain them in the sink. Run them with cold water for about 2 minutes. I've already done mine, so they're ready to go. And the reason for this is getting off the juice and stuff that's in there. And actually, when we have canned beans, the juice that's in them is called aquafaba. And you can save that if you want, and you can use it in place of like any recipe that would call for egg whites, beating egg whites. A lot of times people will use it to make vegan mayonnaise. You can use it in brownies, vegan brownies. There's not necessarily an added health, like nutritional benefit to it, but it's just a good substitute and a good way to be a little bit more sustainable and using the whole thing that you paid for, get a little more bang for your buck there. So once you rinse your beans, you're going to add them to a pot and then cover them with water. Let me just get mine in my pot here. And then add the 1/4 teaspoon of the baking soda. And then we're going to just bring them to a boil. So we'll let that go, and it'll boil for about 20 minutes. And then once it's done boiling, we're going to rinse it with cold water. Adding the baking soda is going to help so that the bean really gets softer. So if you don't have baking soda, it's probably okay. Or if you have made something like this before and you know you like the texture of it being a little chunkier, then you can probably skip that altogether. But the baking soda will help the bean fibers to break down. So chickpeas, some people, while we're boiling that, some people might be wondering, what's the benefit of chickpeas? They do have a lot of protein, and a 1/2 cup is about 20 grams of protein, so quite a bit. They're quite the powerhouse. They have a lot of fiber. They have antioxidants, which are great for your health. So they're definitely a good choice to add in regularly to your eating habits. And so let's go ahead and let those beans boil, I am going to pause the recording here so we don't have to waste time together. Feel free to put on your favorite music and dance a little bit and check back in with me when your beans have boiled for 20 minutes. So make sure to set your timer. Okay, I also want to just add that, of course, when you put the water on the stove and start to, turn it to high to get it to boil, it's going to take a little bit to start the boil, and that's okay. You can just get them boiling. Set that time. I should say, turn it on high. Set the timer for 20 minutes. Start the boil. When the boiling starts, turn it down. So that you're at a temperature where you can kind of keep the boil going. And make a note of what time the timer had set so that you know at the end of that timer that, check them, and if they still feel pretty firm, maybe they need an extra 5 minutes or 10 minutes, whatever it took, however long it took to actually get to the boiling point. Okay, so once you have your beans boiled, you're going to want to go ahead and drain them out in a colander, rinse them again with cold water for a little bit, and then go ahead and pour them into your food processor. And then we're going to add the rest of our ingredients. So we've got our milk, and then we've got our, let's see, that was 4 tablespoons of milk, 5 tablespoons of cocoa powder, 3 tablespoons of pure maple syrup or honey, whatever else other sweetener you want to use. And we've got our oil, 1 tablespoon. And then, like I said, some of the optional things were vanilla and a pinch of salt, so I am going to add just a little bit of vanilla. Got about a teaspoon there. And then some salt here. Again, the salt and the vanilla are optional. I'm gonna open this up because it's been a big mess. There we go. All right, and then go ahead and blend it, and you're just going to be blending it until it's smooth. If you're adding chocolate chips, wait until you're done blending it, unless if you want to chop them up a little bit. So I'm going to pause it here so you don't have to listen to the blender. And then it might be helpful too to just, after a little bit, go ahead and push the sides down. So any cocoa powder that's splashed up, you can get that in. And then you can see, just like the picture there, once it's blended, it'll look nice and creamy, chocolatey. Ooh, that is good. So this is obviously good with strawberries, of course, I'm sure is a common one. Any berry, really, pineapple, bananas. I've tried it with apples. It's not my favorite, but to each their own. Also jicama. It's a root vegetable, actually. But it has kind of a more mild, nutty flavor. The texture is kind of between a pear and a potato. But that would be good if you're trying to increase the vegetables on graham crackers. I think it could also be good as like kind of a frosting alternative for brownies or something. Or if you're making cookies and you want to frost them. So that's how we make the chocolate hummus. I hope that you enjoyed this recipe. Thank you for cooking with me today. And don't forget to check out our YouTube channel for other cooking demos just like this, and exercises, meditation, stretching, etc. We also have a podcast, Taco About Wellness. Be sure to look us up anywhere you get your podcast. Just search Taco About Wellness. And coming up in August, we are having a chopped challenge. And registration will open about mid-July, so be sure you're on the lookout for that. And for our Wellness Center people, feel free to reach out to Tasha or myself for coaching. We can do telephonic, virtual, in the office, meet out on the picnic table, or go and take a walk. I hope you have a great day. Thanks for joining me, and see you next time.